Hello learners, welcome to NIOS. Today we will study fifth part of the seventh chapter, Popular Resistance Movements Against the British Rule. Our topic for today is the Revolt of 1857. This is a very interesting and important topic of Indian history, and I hope you will enjoy watching this video. In our previous lessons, we learned about the causes of the revolt of 1857. We discussed the causes were divided into five main categories. The first category was political, the second category was economic, the third category was social and religious causes, the fourth category was discontent of army, and the fifth category was the immediate reasons. This immediate reason was the introduction was Enfield rifles in the army. These were the new rifles, and these new rifles had some part of animal body. We also came to know about Lord Dalhousie's policy of doctrine of lapse. Dear learners, as you know, that the revolt of 1857 is one of the most important event of Indian history. Therefore, it is necessary to properly understand about it. It is important to note that while British historians consider 1857 revolt as a sepoy mutiny, or in other words, we can say it as a revolt of soldiers, Indian historians called it a popular revolt in which different sections of society participated, and not just the soldiers. Let us try to find out the exact nature of the revolt of 1857. Learners, it is important to note that the Indian soldiers had opposed the British rule even before the revolt of 1857. For example, during the Vellore mutiny in the year 1806, the Indian soldiers revolted against the East India Company. However, the revolt was soon suppressed. On the other hand, during 1857, the revolt was started by the soldiers, but it was later joined by common people. Farmers, craftsmen, and artisans also joined it. In fact, at some places, the revolt was started by common people and not soldiers. Hence, we can say that it was not a revolt of soldiers only. We should remember that during 1857, Hindu Muslim unity was seen as people of both the religions equally participated in it. At the same time, the revolt was not limited to a particular area. In fact, people from all over the country took part in it. And that is the reason we can call the 1857 revolt as the first national war of Indians against foreign rule. Learners, let us now learn about the events of the revolt. Do you know the name of the first Indian soldier who disobeyed the orders of the British army officer? His name was Mangal Pandey, and he was the soldier in the 34th Bengal Native Infantry. Mangal Pandey killed two officers at Barakpur, Barrackpore, near Calcutta on 29th March 1857. He was arrested and later executed. However, the revolt actually started in Meerut, where 85 soldiers were sent to prison for not using the greased cartridges. Do you remember that we studied about the greased cartridges in our previous lecture? Let us quickly revise it. In 1856, the British decided to introduce the Enfield rifles. Before using the cartridges are the bullets. Before using these rifles, they had to pull some part of the gun from their mouth. However, it was believed that these cartridges were made from the parts of a cow and pig. Hindus consider cow as holy, and also for the Muslim, pig is impure. Therefore, the Indian soldiers started opposing the use of these cartridges. So now you know that why the Indian soldiers refused to use the cartridges. And do you know, on their refusal, because they refused to use those new rifles, 85 soldiers were sent to prison. The very next day, on 10th May 1857, three regiments revolted against the British government. The soldiers killed many English officers and opened the prison to release those soldiers who had been imprisoned by the British. The rebels now started to move towards Delhi. In the way, many common people joined them. On reaching Delhi, they declared the 81-year-old Mughal ruler Bahadur Shah Zafar as the King of India. The revolt was not limited to Delhi and it spread to other places also. And in Kanpur, Nana Sahib was declared as the Peshwa, and his army was led by Tantia Tope and Azimullah. While in Lucknow, Begum Hazrat Mahal led the revolt. Begum Hazrat Mahal was the wife of Nawab Wazid Ali Shah of Awadh. Nawab Wazid Ali Shah was from Awadh and he was sent to exile to Calcutta, and therefore she managed the affairs of state. In Bareilly, Khan Bahadur Khan was a leader of the rebels. Learners, can you name the most famous leader of 1857 revolt? Let me give you a hint. She was the Queen of Jhansi. Yes, you guessed it right. Her name was Rani Lakshmi Bai. You can see her picture on the screen. We should remember that the Indians, under the leadership of able leaders like Rani Lakshmi Bai of Jhansi, Tantia Tope, and Kunwar Singh, bravely faced the British forces. In fact, the chief Sir Hafroz of the British Army called Lakshmi Bai as the bravest and the best among all the rebel leaders. It must be noted that during the beginning of the revolt, the Indians were able to defeat the English and captured many towns. For example, they occupied many cities in modern Haryana, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh. However, after some time, the British were able to take back all the towns from the rebels. One by one, the three bravest and most important Indian leaders of 1857 revolt were removed from their way. While Lakshmi Bai died fighting during the battle, Kunwar Singh also died in the battle, and Tantia Tope was captured by the English forces when he was sleeping, and he was later hanged to death. Learners, do you know that the old emperor Bahadur Shah was sent as a prisoner to Rangoon in Burma, where he died in the year 1862? We will discuss the causes of the failure of year 1857 revolt later in more details. However, on 10th September 1857, the British recaptured Delhi and the revolt finally came to an end on 8th July 1857. The revolt failed to end the British rule in India. However, it is considered a very important event of Indian history because for the first time people of different religions, classes, and castes came together to fight against the common enemy. Learners, let us now take a quick look at what we have learned in the lesson so far. In the beginning, we discussed that whether 1857 revolt was a sepoy mutiny or a popular revolt in which common people also participated. We also discussed about the major events of the revolts and the places where revolt took place. And after that, we discussed about the important leaders of the revolts like Rani Lakshmibai of Jhansi, Nana Sahib, Tatya Tope, Kunwar Singh, Begum Hazrat Mahal, this brings us to the end of this video lesson. I hope you have understood this topic well. If you have any query, you can send us email at signlanguage@nios.ac.in. You can also visit our website. Our website address is www.nios.ac.in. For more educational videos in sign language, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at NIOS website. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो, धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो। मित्रों हम उठे और जागे,
मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने, स्वयं बने, हम
राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय शिक्षा संस्थान मानव संसाधन विकास मंत्रालय भारत सरकार का एक स्वायत्त संगठन है। 67वां गणतंत्र दिवस NIOS के लिए विशेष आयोजन का साक्षी रहा। यह आयोजन था एक सामाजिक सद्भावना के संकेत के रूप में। माननीय मानव संसाधन विकास मंत्री श्रीमती स्मृति जुबीन ईरानी ने दिव्यांगों को आमंत्रित किया गणतंत्र दिवस 26 जनवरी 2016 के परेड में सम्मिलित होने के लिए और इसके अवलोकन के लिए।
मेरा NIOS से विशेष निवेदन है, 26 जनवरी को NIOS के सौजन्य से ये स्पेशल विद्यार्थी विशेष रूप से दिल्ली आए और गणतंत्र दिवस की परेड में शामिल हों, उस परेड को स्वयं देखें। दिल्ली आएंगे? आना होगा ना सबका?
इन दिव्यांग शिक्षार्थियों के लिए दिल्ली में अशोक रोड स्थित YWCA में ठहरने का विशेष प्रबंध किया गया। NIOS द्वारा इन दिव्यांग शिक्षार्थियों को राजघाट दिल्ली, NIOS मुख्यालय और आगरा भ्रमण के विशेष प्रबंध भी किए गए। NIOS द्वारा इन दिव्यांगों के लिए राजपथ के 20 नंबर अहाते में परेड देखने के विशेष प्रबंध भी किए गए।
समस्याओं का इलाज शायद सिर्फ हमारे पास। NIOS NIOS। पढ़ना लिखना सीखो ओ मेहनत करने वालों, पढ़ना लिखना सीखो ओ भूख से मरने वालों।
दूर दराज क्षेत्रों से आए इन दिव्यांग शिक्षार्थियों के चेहरों की रौनक और आंखों की चमक से खुशी और सौहार्द साफ सी झलकती दिख रही है।
NIOS के थ्रू हम लोगों को ये मौका मिला है कि हम लोग आगरा और दिल्ली की सैर कर सकें। इस एक्सपीरियंस से हमारे बच्चे बहुत ही एक्साइटेड और खुश हैं और हमारी पूरी टीम मेंबर, हमारे प्रिंसिपल सर, सभी को ये मौका बहुत अच्छा लगा है और वो लोग सब खुश हैं।
अच्छा, एक बात बताइए, हमने किसी ने सुना कि आप मोदी जी से बहुत पास से मिले क्या? पहली बार मोदी ऐसे कर रहे थे? हैं? कितने पास थे? दूर थे? पास थे? ये ऐसे हैं? आपको बोला आंखों में देखा क्या? आंखों में देखा क्या? आंखों में देखा।
ये इंटरनेशनल टेबल टेनिस खिलाड़ी है। इन्होंने जहाँ गई है वो इंडोनेशिया गई है, जापान से खेल के आई है और इंडिया में कई एक जगह पे खेली है। तो वो अपना सारा एक्सपीरियंस ये साइन लैंग्वेज के द्वारा बताई है कि हम हर जगह पे जा रहे हैं और खेल रहे हैं। मैं बहुत खुश हूँ।
तो यहाँ आने के बाद लगता है कुछ और अलग ज़िंदगी मिल गया।
हमारे पेरेंट्स भी नहीं सोच सकते थे कि हमको ऐसा कुछ मिलने वाला है यहाँ, इसलिए मैं NIOS की बहुत ज़्यादा शुक्रगुजार हूँ और मैं इनसे, हमारी एक रिक्वेस्ट है कि वो हमें और ऊंचा तक ले जाएं और जहाँ तक हमसे होगा मेहनत करना, हम मेहनत करने में से पीछे नहीं हटेंगे।
हमें दिल्ली आने में बहुत अच्छा लगा।
बाहो लालात थतुल मोहला चेतना निकनो हलक ऐ टुक टुक चे।
We saw the Republic Day parade and the fighter planes and Assam and all the jhakias, and it was superb, it was brilliant. Yeah, even Prime Minister we met, we saw him, we shook hands with him. Now the third day, NIOS chairman office we have visited and we've met the chairman. And how do you feel? It was all good, right? Yeah, all of them are very thankful to NIOS for all the support that they do. Thank you.
NIOS के लिए ये सौभाग्य की बात है कि इतने सारे बच्चे जो दिव्यांग हैं वो यहाँ आए और इसकी शोभा बढ़ाए। कई बच्चों ने ये कहा कि उनके लिए सौभाग्य का अवसर था, लेकिन मेरा ऐसा मानना है कि NIOS के लिए ये सौभाग्य का अवसर था कि ये बच्चे समय निकाल पाए, इतनी कठिनाइयों के बावजूद यहाँ आए और इतने प्रसन्न हैं कि अपनी संस्था में वो आए हैं।
NIOS प्रतिबद्ध है समाज के दिव्यांगों के प्रति गुणवत्ता परक शिक्षा प्रदान करने की दिशा में।